There are some questions in regards to Tiger Woods' game, but more questions about his endurance this week. Now, as Rich mentioned, he had ankle fusion surgery late or the middle of last year, I should say, and that has taken away the pain in his ankle, but has also taken away mobility. Now, what that has done is put pressure on other parts of his body because of that lack of mobility in his ankle through the kinetic chain, and because of that, he has had some pain in his hip and his back. His back has been a problem throughout most of his career. That is what he and his team will have to manage here this week for him to compete and possibly contend. Rich?
All right, Todd, in the 10 majors Tiger's played since winning the Masters 2019, best finish U.S. Open. That was 5 years ago, tied for 21st. 4 missed cuts, 2 WDs. Tiger never did, as we know, play to just make cuts, though. 142 straight will never be broken. One more here, and he passes Freddie and Gary. Freddie's 39th Masters, by the way. Player most starts ever, 52 from 1957 through 2009. Arnie, the only other player with 50 or more, Arnie at an even 50. So, Johnson, Tiger was playing well coming into that 2019 Masters. Now he's hardly playing. So how do you make a case for Tiger this year except to say it's Tiger?
Rich, I've been of the belief that he could do anything, and I would never want to count him out. And I hope I'm wrong as I say this, but we just have not seen enough 4 rounds of competitive golf. And when you only play a handful of times, a couple times a year, there's no ability to get any momentum when you play. I think it would be a remarkable achievement, and I think he will make the cut this week. But I'm finally getting to the point where I think we have finished seeing Tiger Woods win major championships.
Yeah, I'm not saying he can't. I'm not saying he won't, but I would be more pleasantly surprised if he did contend than I would say that I was of any of his accomplishments. And his accomplishments border on fanciful fiction when you look at them in their entirety. You know, to your point, the 20 rounds of golf he's played since he came back after that horrific accident, he's averaged over 73. He's just completed 272 hole tournaments. But I'd say, you know, look, he's already given us more than anybody. His impact in the game is unlike anything before or since. It really has. When you think about what he's meant to the game, in terms of consecutive victories, he's won 7 in a row, 6 in a row, 5 in a row, 4 majors in a row, which include, you throw the players in there for a bonus. I would argue, and still do argue, that he's won more individual golf tournaments than anybody who's ever played this game. Sam Snead and he are tied at 82, but 5 of Sam Snead's were team events. Team events. And one of them was a tournament that they didn't even bother to play off. So either way, it's 76 or 77 individual events for Sam Snead. Tiger clearing away the most individual wins.